ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं श्रीकृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। नमो महावदान्याय कृष्णा प्रेम प्रदायिने कृष्णाय कृष्णा चैतन्य नाम्ने गौरत्विषे नमः। पञ्चतत्त्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूपस्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्तशक्तिकं। श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर शिवासदि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। जन्माद्यस्य तोऽन्वयादितरतश्चार्थे सुविज्ञस्वराट् तेने ब्रह्महृदायादिकवये मुह्यन्ति यत्सूरयः। तेजो वारिमृदां यथा विनिमयो यत्र त्रिसर्गो मृषा धाम्ना स्वेन सदा निरस्तकुहकं सत्यं परं धीमहि। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। स्वस्ति अस्तु विश्वस्य खलः प्रसीदतां ध्यायन्तु भूतानि शिवं मिथो धिया मनश्च भद्रं भजता दधोक्षजे आवेशतां नो मतिरप्यहेतुकी। Reading from Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, Canto 11, Chapter 8, verse number 39. So we are reading the song sung by Pingala when she attained the mood of Vairagya, which is described as by the grace of Dattatreya. So she realized that she is wasting her life simply trying to get pleasure from the body and from people who are not of good character. So she decided to give it up and desired that she wants to serve only Bhagavan, who is in the heart. And she also did not think that she attained this mood because she realized that she is undergoing a lot of suffering. Said that it is not possible, but it is by the grace of Bhagavan. Nunam me Bhagavan prito Vishnu kenapi karmana. So that was her conclusion. Bhushan.
Well, she pronounced. My question is that she had in the past she had a lot of experiences with her work and so on. My question is that how is I mean it's difficult to imagine for me that this nature of this resolve is such that the past then does not catch up to her, does not become an obstacle to her. Like maybe 1 week later, she would probably not. I mean, get some she would not go back to the past, or maybe she would not be bothered by the past samskaras. How would this be? It's so difficult personally, but how would this be possible? What is the nature of a resolve such that she gets completely free from all of the past actions, all the past samskaras in her mind she has done?
No, the sanskaras may be there, but she is not influenced by them. We have so many types of samskaras. That does not mean that every samskara is driving our life. Many times desires come in our mind because of the samskaras, obviously, but we don't act on them. We don't act on all our desires. So many thoughts, desires. You sometimes get upset with somebody, you want to feel like you get the desire to do something, but you don't do. So that means the samskara is there, the desire is also there, but you don't act on that. And this happens when your resolve is strong. And that happens when you have understanding and shraddha which go together. So that's how her state of mind is. Sutena upakritam adaya sirshaagramya sangataha tyaktva durasha sharanam brajami tamadhishwaram. So now she is acknowledging that she has got the grace of Bhagavan, and therefore she says that Tena upakritam adaya sirsha, that I accept this grace on my head, and gramya sangata durasha tyaktva, and I give up my durasha, the bad desires or material hopes which were that she wanted to get money and enjoyment. She was called Arthakamuki before. So she says that I give up, and Sarnam Brajami Tamadhishwaram, I take shelter of Ishvara. So that's what she desires now. So her durasha has turned into good asha. So atastena Vishnuna upkritam kritam upkaramimam nirveda lakshanam sirsha grihitva grammeshu visheshu sangatapiyam. So the meaning is that this welfare, this beneficial act which Bhagavan Vishnu has done to me, what is that? Nirveda lakshanam. That I have developed this sense of dispassion, so I accept it with great honor and respect. So means she is taking the good opportunity. So this is also important lesson in our life, that sometimes we get opportunity, and if we don't make use of it, then the opportunity can go away. It's not that they come all the time. So when opportunity is there and we don't use it, then later on we have to repent. So she has got this mood, this opportunity, So she happily accepts it. Otherwise people say, oh, I will do it in my old age. Now let me do this or let me do that. These types of ideas come in the mind. So then you don't act on that. So she is not doing that. Santushta Saddadata ityetad yatha labhen jivati viharami amuna eva ahamatmana ramanena vai. So she says that Santushta Sraddadati etad yatha labhen jivati. That I will remain satisfied whatever comes to me by my fate, and I will have faith. So means she's now decided that she's not going to engage in just making money. Yatha labhena means whatever I get. And viharami amunaeva, and I will enjoy the company of Bhagavan, who is my Raman. So she is accepting Vishnu as her lover. Sharanam gata sati kidrishi bubhushi si tiyatya. So she has taken shelter of Bhagavan. So what does she desire to do now after taking shelter? That is being described here. Santushta, that I will remain satisfied, content. Etat sraddadati vishvasati etadeva kim tatra. So she has this vishwas now. Shraddha means vishwas. So this is also the characteristic of Sharanagati. One of the characteristic of Sharanagati is Shraddha. So to have full faith, Rakshishyati iti Vishwaso. This is one of the 6 limbs of Sharanagati. It's actually the primary limb of all of them. So that was her Vishwas. And Viharami, that I will enjoy only with my Vishnu and not anyone else. Samsara kupe patitam vishair mushite kshanam grastam kalahine atmanam konyasnatum konyastratum adhishvaraha. So she is now realizing her situation. Samsara kupe patitam, that I have fallen into the well of this material world. And vishair mushita ikshanam, and my vision has been stolen by the vishayas, means I am blinded by them. So we have buddhi with which we can discriminate what is right, what is wrong. But when our buddhi is polluted, then we don't see things clearly. It's like if we have glasses and some fog becomes accumulated on them, then we don't have the proper vision. So this is what he says, that these vishayas, these material objects here, they have blinded me to the reality. So grastam kala ahina, and I have been swallowed by the snake of time. So konyastrato madheshwara, who else is capable of protecting me? If you fall into the well of the material world, there is nobody else who can protect. Mamevaye prapadyante mayametam tarantite. The only person who can protect is one who is master of Maya. No one else can protect you. So therefore she says that this is my situation. So there is story in Mahabharata, that person was in the forest, went to pick up some wood, then suddenly he saw one tiger. So the tiger started running towards him, so he ran. There was a well, so he jumped into the well, but when he jumped he saw there was a snake below. So he hold on to the branch of the tree which was hanging in the well. So now he is hanging with the branch, and the tiger is looking up from the above into the well. He is halfway, and below he sees there is a snake. Above is the tiger. Then he sees that there are two rats, they are cutting the branch. And then he sees that there is a beehive above, and once in a while one drop of honey is coming, so he is trying to lick that. So that is described, that here we are fallen into the kupa, well of the material world. There is a snake, there is time, these two rats are the time, day and night, cutting the branch. You are going to fall down and die. So he says, who else can protect you in this situation? So it's only Bhagavan who can give you protection. Nanu brahmadin hitva amuna eva iti koyam agraha tatra samsarati. So the question is asked that why you say that only he can protect. Says Bhagavan can also, Brahma can also protect you, Indra can protect you. So there are so many of them. So he says that nobody else can protect me, only him, because they themselves are under the influence of time. Atmaiv hi atmano gopta nirvidyeta yada khilat apramatta idam pashed grastam kala hina jagat. So he says, Atma evahi atmano gopta nirvidyeta yada khilat. Says when one becomes completely renounced, then Paramatma can protect you. No one can protect you. Why is that? He says, Grastam Kalahina Jagat, because this whole Jagat, this material world is under the influence of the snake of time. Apramatta idam pashyet. One who is not bewildered, he can see this. Others cannot see that. Tari kim atmatranopadhina bhajishyasi iti tatra naivatyaha atmaivati. So he says, so are you going to worship because you want to protect yourself from the snake or material world? Is that the reason, so that you can remain here? He says, no, I am completely done with the material world. Akhilat, bhogat, nirvidyeta. That I am absolutely detached to all the sense of pleasures. So why is that? He says, idam jagat kalahina grastam pashyet. That this whole material world is completely swallowed by the snake of time. Tada atma eva atmana swasya gopta sansarad rakshita bhavet mamatma ta samprati etadrisha eva bhutiti aham svateva nistirna samsara bhuvam eva tena ta param kevalam premna eva tam bhajasyati. So he is taking the meaning of atma as atma only, not paramatma. So he is saying that then you can protect yourself from yourself, because you are not interested in the sense enjoyment, and therefore you can devote yourself fully to Bhagavan. So mam atma cha samprati etadrisha eva abhut. Says my atma has become like this now, that it is not interested in any sense pleasures. And therefore I will worship Bhagavan premana eva bhajami. In other words, what he is trying to say is that when you are suffering in the material world, you also approach Bhagavan for help. Artho jigyasu artharthi. So he's saying that are you also approaching him because you have fallen into the samsara kupa, the well of the material world. So if you think like this, then you are going to worship him only to protect yourself from that snake of time or for the upliftment from the material world, which means moksha. So she says that no, I am not interested in that. I want to worship him out of love. So he says premna eva. Ata param kevalam premna eva tam bhajishya iti bhava. Means there is no other desire for me, that I want to worship him and then the process to get something. So that is not my intention. So means pure devotion. So this is the teaching of Pingala. Very interesting. Brahmana uvacha. Evam vyavasita matir durasam kanta tarshajam chitva upshamamastaya sayyam upaviveshasa. So when she has made resolve like this and she has given up any durasa, this desire to fulfill her intention from these people who are called Kanta Tarshajam Durasham, she Chitva. So she gave up absolutely any desire to have any of those customers, and she became very peaceful. Upshama Masthaya Sayyam Pavesh. And then finally she went to her bed to take rest. Otherwise she was very anxious. She was not able to fall asleep. But now she became very composed in her mind. No disturbance. And then this is the teaching from this. Ashahi paramam dukkham nairasyam paramam sukham yatha sanchidya kantasham sukham suswapa pingala. So this is a very famous statement. Ashahi paramam dukkham. So he says that hope for material enjoyment, that itself is the supreme suffering. There is no other suffering. If you don't have asha, the desire, the hope, the expectation for material enjoyment, then there is nothing which can disturb your mind. Mind is disturbed by desires. Desire is like a wave in the mind. So it doesn't allow it to sit peacefully. It's like a vibration, like waves. So he says, Nairashyam paramam sukham. When you give up that asha, that hope, that desire, then that is the happiness. It's peace. So peace is there already. But disturbance comes. If you remove the disturbance, there is peace. So therefore he says that Kanta Asham Sanchidya, that she gave up the desire to have lovers or customers. They are not really lovers. Kanta means lover. Kanta can also means ka means happiness. Anta means end. Who brings an end of your happiness? That is the Kanta. So she gave up this Kantasha, that no more desire, and then she slept happily. So Swapa Pingala. So this is the formula for sleep. Have no hopes, no desires. Before you go to bed, you should just think, okay, it's the end of the day. I don't have any expectations. So I sleep. So this is the end of this chapter, chapter number 8. And chapter number 9, he continues to speak, Brahmana Vaja. So now he gives another instruction which he learned from a bird called Kurara bird, some kind of vulture. So he says, Brahmana Vacha, Parigraho hi dukkhaya yadyat priyatamam nrinam anantam sukham apnoti tadvidvan yastva kinchanaha. So he says that if you accumulate objects which are dear to you, that also brings suffering, parigraha. And you have unlimited happiness when you are akinchana, means you don't possess anything. So this has two interpretations. From the Vairagya point of view, yes, literal meaning, you are akinchan, don't have anything, just wander, so you have no worries. But that is very difficult also, it's not easy. The other one is parigraha, means, graha means to hold. Parigraha means to hold it from all around, like parikrama. So you become the satellite and your possessions is around which you are circling. Like people are the satellites for their possessions. Wherever they go, they are wandering around it. And akinchana means that you don't have that attachment. Akinchana does not mean that you are just poor, have nothing, because then how will you do service? How will you take care of yourself? So that is from bhakti point of view. So, Krishna sambandha nirbandha yukta vairagya. So, Vishyasu swayam arochakta vairagya. So, to not have ruchi, liking, attachment to the Vishaya, that is the meaning of akinchana. So that brings happiness, otherwise all the attachment to sense objects will give you some anxiety, some problem. So Sri Vishnu Chakravarti says, Navme sapta gurvah kururadhya prakirtitaha deho ashtamas tadevam syur guruva panchavinsati. So in this 9th chapter, there are 7 gurus which are described, beginning with Kurara. And then the 8th one is one's own body. Our body is also our guru. And that will bring an end to the 25 gurus. Means 24 he said, but he added one for the bonus, the body also. So then there are 25. So that will be described in this chapter. Kururat shikshitam aha. So parigraha iti dvabhyam. In the 2 verses he describes what he learned from the Kurara bird. And that is that don't be attached to anything. Yat yat priyatamam vastu tasya tasya parigraha tat tasmat yastu akinchano nispriha saiva vidwan anantam sukham apnoti. So the simple meaning is that whatever parigraha you have, which are very dear to you, so you become nispriha in them. You become free from attachment to those things. You have some things to which you are very much attached. Then there are some things you are mildly attached. Then you also have other things which you are not attached, but you still have them. So he says, especially those who are priyatamam, So he says, become nispriha in them. That is the meaning of akinchana here. He is not saying that akinchana means that you drop everything in garbage or throw away or give, but you do not have spriha for them. So that means not asakta, not attached. Then you are peaceful. Otherwise your mind will be disturbed by whatever you have. So he gives an example for this, which is a very telling example. Says Samisam Kururam Jagnur Balino ye niramishaha tadamisham parityajya sasukham samavindata. So there was a Kurara bird and he got a piece of meat from somewhere. Maybe some animal was dead. So when he had that piece of meat, he is holding the meat in his beak. Then there were other vultures, they saw that he has a meat, so they all attacked him. And he is trying to fly away this way, that way, but they are all following him and his life is in danger. And they are very much ready to kill him. So what this bird does is that he drops the meat. And when he drops it, they all leave him. Because they did not have any enmity with him. Their interest was in what he was having. So when he dropped the piece of meat, he was happy. Before that he was in trouble, they are attacking him. Sometimes you see in the monkeys, one monkey gets one chapati or something to eat, then all others are trying to run behind him. So this monkey doesn't drop it. Monkeys are clever, they don't drop. So they put it in the mouth and they can fill it up. Then you see on one side, right? The one side of cheek becomes big because they just put in the mouth. Now what are you going to do? So this bird was not that smart. He was smarter. So he just dropped it. So this is the lesson which he learned from it. He says, Tadaha samisham mas grahinam sakurara. So this bird had the meat. So then what has he learned from a child, small child? That is being described here. Name manav manosto na chinta geha putrinam atma krida atmaratir vicharami iha balavat. So he says that I am very happy because I not bothered for any person giving me respect or anybody insulting me. So I don't have desire for respect or to avoid disrespect. I am just balanced. Manav nast. And na chinta geha putrinam. I don't have any anxiety for house, wife, children, son, daughter. And therefore I am Atma Krida. I play within myself. Atmarati, I enjoy within my own self, just like a child. So like child is not thinking I should be praised. Of course these days maybe. They learn quickly. But small child, he doesn't know what is honor, dishonor. He has no anxiety about children, taking care of them. He himself is dependent on others. And he can also play with himself. Right? Give him some toy, he's happy. So he says, this is what I have learned from a child. To be like a child Balvat. So Balkat Shikshitam Aha Naiti. 2 slokas is describing what he has learned from the child. So Manapmanyor Tulyam Tulyam Mitrari Pakshayo. Bhagavan Krishna also says that you remain balanced in respect and disrespect, in friend and foe. So he says he is already like that because he has learned it. Then he says, the next verse is very interesting. He says there are only 2 types of people who are happy in this material world. And there are not many of them. So he says, Dvaveva chintaya mukto paramananda apluto yo vimugdho jado balo yo gunebhya paramgata. Says there are 2 types of people who are completely free from anxiety and therefore they are completely full of bliss. Who are they? One is a person who is vimugdha jada bala, who is like child. Jada means more or less like a retired person. He could be mentally retired. So mentally retired people are also happy. See them sometimes they are just laughing for nothing. Because the problem comes when your mind is full of desires, anxiety. So vimugdha means bewildered, or you get Alzheimer. So then also you are happy. Alzheimer, the benefit of Alzheimer is that you don't have anxiety because you don't remember. To have anxiety, you have to have certain amount of memory. If you take away the memory of a human being, he's going to have any anxiety, fear, enmity, desire for respect, disturbed because somebody did not give him honor, no? So this says Vimugdha Jadvat Bala. So you are just in your own world, you are happy. And the other one is one who has transcended the gunas of Prakriti. Yogunebhya Paramgata means somebody who has attained love of God, who is transcendental. He is also happy because he is beyond all this dualities of the material world. Adveshta sarvabhutanam matra karunevacha. So that person is also happy. So these are the only 2 types of people. So we know that there are not too many of them. So then in between is the middle part, who are neither transcendental nor completely stupid. So they are the one who are suffering. So majority is like this. So there is no comment on this. Sridhar Swami says Vimugdha means ignorant and Jada means who doesn't do anything. And he says these are the 2 characteristics of a child. So child is ignorant and child is not having any plans. He eats and he sleeps. So this is 2 verses he learned from the child. The next one is a young girl, unmarried girl. So what has he learned from her is described now. Kvachit kumari tu atmanam vrinanan grihamagatan swayam tanarhyamase kwapi yate shubandhashu. So there was a young girl and she was betrothed, engaged, what to say. So there is a ceremony in India and it looks like this must be an old ceremony. Now also At least here in north side they have it, that when engagement happens, then for the engagement, the girl side, the parents, father, brother, etc., they come to the family of bridegroom and there is a ceremony to engage him. The girl does not come. And when this happens, then the bridegroom side goes to the girl and they also do a ceremony. Here in North India is called God Bharai, right? You also have that. So that is what is described here. That Vrinanan, that they came, in Sanskrit it is called choosing. So they also bring some gifts, some ornaments, etc. So this girl was like that, she was engaged, and then the bridegroom side, some people came to her house. But at that time all the family members have gone out for some errand. And she was the only one at home. So she has to receive them. Obviously, what else you can do? So Vrinanan Grihamagatan Swayam Tana Rehamas. So because there was no one else, so she herself received them as guests of honor. So Kumariya Sikshitam Ahat Adakhyanena. So he says that what he learned from the young unmarried girl, this is being described here. Kvachiditi arhya masa avrit sarvangair grihat niskramya darbhasan jaladibhir atithyam chakre. So when they came here, she came out, as she says that she covered herself completely, because girl actually does not come in before the marriage, does not appear. In the old custom it was like that. But now since there is no one else, so she covered herself and came in front, gave them the seat, water, etc. And then she thought that she has to prepare some food for them. So that's the story which is being described. Bandhusu Pitri Matra Desho, because the parents, mother, father, brother, etc., they had gone out, maybe they went to the field. So Tesham Abhyavaharartham Shalin Rahasi Parthiva Avghanantyaha Prakoshthas Chakru Shankha Sonam Mahat. So then she has to make some food, and rice was the common staple food in the olden days. But in the house there was no rice, there was only paddy. So she has to beat it to get the rice out. So therefore she went inside the house in a quiet corner so that they don't see her, otherwise they will think, what is this, people don't even have little rice in their house. So they will think that it's a very poor family. So he says, Shalin Rahasi Parthiva Avghanamtya. So she was beating the paddy to get the rice out, but then on her hand she had the bangles. So if you beat, then the bangles make sound. And if you make, this is making sound, then the people outside will hear it and they say, oh, she is trying to get the rice out. So, and she does not want them to know this. So that was her problem. So kadate ayashyanti kadat tandulan karishyanti iti mansi kurvatyas tasyas chestitam ahate shankha shankhavalaya. So first she thought that let me wait, my parents will come, but then she thought we don't know when they will come, then they have to prepare food, it will be very late, and the guest will think that we have come to their house and no food here, because people used to walk in the olden days, it's not, so they may have walked many hours and they're hungry, so she said I will prepare food myself and then serve them, and my parents come fine, but not, at least I'll take care. So that's why she planned to beat the paddy, get the rice out. But then she felt very embarrassed because these bangles were making noise. So says Sa tajjukupshitam matva mahati vridita tata babhanjaye kekasha shankhan dvau dvau panyau rasheshayat. So she felt very embarrassed by the sound, and because of that the verse actually says babhanja means she broke. But breaking bangles is not considered as auspicious. So it says babhanja means that she removed them. And then only 2 remained on each hand. So she must have like 4 each. So 2 of them is removed. So now only 2 are remaining in one hand. And then this started. But they are still making noise. So ubhayorapi abhut ghosho hiv avghanantyasma sankhayo tatrapi ekam nirvidadde kasmanna bhavadhvani. So when 2 were remaining and she started beating the paddy, then these 2 were also making the sound. And these bangles are made from conch. So previously they used to make conch bangles. Then later on the glass bangles came into fashion. So then she removed 1 each till only 1 remained. And when there was only 1 remaining, it made no sound. So what did she learn from? He learned from that. So tat sali avhananam daridya dotakatvat jugupsitam mahatir buddhimati. So he says that why she was making this effort? Because she thought that if they come to know that I am trying to make this rice, then they will think that we are very poor, and that will be then we will get criticized. So thinking like this, she removed. And she was Mahati, means she was very intelligent. This is smartness, to do something like that. So now he says, what did I learn from this? What is the message? So he says, Anvashiksham imam tasya upadesham arindama lokan anucharan netan loka tattva vivitsaya. So he says that, O king, this is what I learned from her while I was wandering in the world, trying to understand the truth of this world. Because the question is that this happened to this girl, how did he know? It's like he saw that this pigeon and they were giving egg and this and that. Where did he figure it out? So he was probably camping there, observing. He is very observant. So how did he observe this? Was he sitting there or what? Watching on some, these days they have reality show. So was it being relayed somewhere that how did he come to know? So he says, because I was wandering, so I noticed this. How he noticed, we don't know. So lokan anucharan iti taddine maya tatreva sthitam iti sarvepi ete guruvo maya svachakshusha eva drishta netu sarvagyatvat gyata iti bhava. So Sri Vishwanath Chakravarti says that the word lokan anucharan, that while wandering here in the world or going to the different places, he says that that day he was present in that particular place, and therefore we have to, from this we have to understand that all these gurus which he is describing, whether it is a snake or it is a python or pigeon, he has directly perceived them himself. Not that he knows because he is Sarvagya. But he has learned this by the direct experience. Otherwise they'll say, oh, he is so knowledgeable, so he can know that. But he says, no, he has also experienced it himself. And now this is what he learned from it. This is the important lesson. Vaso bahunam kalho bhaved varta dvayorapi ek eva charet tasmat kumariya eva kankana. So he says, if many people live together, they will fight. Right? This is true. Everybody knows this. If there are two people, the two will also fight. He is at least saying bahunam means many. But even two will fight. And he says if there are many, they will fight. If there are two, they will talk. So what is the solution? He says, therefore, a sadhu should remain alone. Don't join any ashram. Remain in a hut somewhere. So that's why the sadhus in Vrindavan, they used to have their own hut somewhere and do their bhajan. So he says, Eka eva charet tasmat kumariya eva kankana. Therefore one should remain alone like the bangle of that girl. Because when she had only one bangle, there was no fighting and no talk. So this is what he learned. So Vaso, Vase iti cha do patho. There are two readings, Vaso or Vase. Atra daridra kumari aprapta patika jhanatka abhavartham yatha kankanan duri karoti tathaiva gyan yoga swashritan muni nisangan karoti. So Sri Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur gives two meanings, one which is related with the Gyan Yoga, other which is related with Bhakti Yoga. So he says here in this story, we see that this girl actually belonged to a very poor family, Daridra Kumari. Daridra Kumari means poor girl. And Aprapt Patika, and she did not have a husband. Therefore it says that for the sake of not making the sound from her bangles, she removed them. Kankanan duri karoti. So he says in the same way, those people who are following the path of Gyan Yoga, they remain away from others. Swasritan munin nishangan eva karoti. So he doesn't get into company of other sages, he sends them away, even if they are dependent on him. Because just like these bangles, they were dependent on the girl. So the Gyan Yogi is following, he may have some students studying, but he keeps them away. Nasanganeva karoti.
Bhaji, just trying to understand, without some kind of understanding in the Shastric culture or Shastric system, to think in this way is also not possible. No, I mean.
So now it is possible after.
Yeah, this is correct. But I'm just thinking from like Dattatraya's point of view. So just looking at a bangle or something like this, nobody will think, oh, you should, stay alone.
Yeah, that's true. So he must have also studied
some. That's
So then he gives another example. So first is the example of Daridra Kumari, poor girl. So Gyan Yogi is compared to a poor girl who has nothing and keeps everything away. And Bhakti Yoga is compared to a Rajkumari, a princess. So what is princess doing? Yathacha Rajkumari Patimati Patim Abhisaranti Jhanatkaradi Artham Kankanan Paridhatte. So what does Rajkumari does? Rajkumari is married. The other one was Daridra Kumari. She was not married. And she wanted to avoid the noise. And this Rajkumari, she is married and she wants to make the noise, so she gets more bangles. Because she is a princess. So he says that she is going to meet the husband, Patim Abhisaranti, Jhanat, and because she is going to meet the husband, she wants to make sound with the ornaments. So she puts on nice golden bangles. Kankanan Paridhatte. Tathaiv Srimati Bhakti Devi. So in the same way, Bhakti Devi Swashritan Vaishnavan Madhur Nam Kirtan Dhvani Rasartham Tan Paraspar Sangina Eva Vidhatte Netva Sangina. So Bhakti Devi also makes the devotees come together so that they can enjoy performing Nam Kirtan and taste that. So Bodhyanta Parasparam. So Tushyanti cha Ramanti cha. So in other words, what he's saying is that the path of Jnana Yoga is dry, you have to remain alone. Somebody comes, don't come near. They carry one danda, one stick, one lota, that's all. Nothing else. And devotees, no problem. So that is the distinction he's making. यदुक्तं भगवता नैकात्मतां मे स्पृहन्ति केचिन् मत्पादसेवाभिरता मदीहा यन्योन्यतो भागवता प्रसज्य संभाजयन्ते मम पौरुषाणीति. So he says that my devotees, they don't want even this ekatmata, means sahyajya mukti. Sahyajya mukti is also ekeva charit, ekla chalo, move alone. So he says they don't want. Why? Mad pad seva bhirata madiha, because they are engaged in doing service to my feet and they are desiring me, they performing seva for me. Yanyonyato bhagavata prasajya, therefore they meet each other, the bhagavatas come together, sabhajyante mam paurashani, and they glorify me, they sing about my activities, my pastimes. And in this way, tushyanti cha ramanti cha, they feel satisfied, they feel happy. So that is the distinction between Jnana Yogi and Bhakti Yogi. Of course, the Dattatreya is talking about the Jnana Yogis. He is not talking about the Bhakti Yogis. But he is taking a little deviation from the original verse and describing the mood of the devotees. So we'll stop here if there is any question to ask.
A question from Dhananjaya. What do the snake and tiger from the Mahabharata story represent or symbolize?
Just they symbolize enemies in life. Kam, Krodh, Lobh, Moh. So they are eating you. Mohini.
Did I understand correct that this Brahmana who is meeting the king, he is himself the Dattatreya?
Which Brahmana? This Dattatreya?
This Brahmana, yeah, that this person who is like this Avatut, he is himself the Dattatreya.
He is what?
He is the Dattatreya who learned all these stories.
Yeah.
So Singala got this mercy from Dattatreya. So this Avatut went to her place and gave her the mercy. Is it the same person?
Yeah. That's why he knows the story. That's exactly what his Vishwanath Chakravarti was saying, that he has witnessed all this. Okay.